Good morning, everyone. My name is Gleam Davis. I'm a member of the Santa Monica City Council, and I want to welcome you all to our 5th annual Santa Monica Veterans Day ceremony. It's an honor to be with you today, recognizing and celebrating the heroes who have served our country. Would all the veterans and active military members here today please stand so we can recognize you and your service? I want to acknowledge and honor the sacrifices that you and your families have made and continue to make for the people of this community and our entire country. Your commitment to service is an amazing example for us all. So please, one more round of applause for our vets and their families. And those of you who know me know today is very close to my heart. I always treasure the opportunity to speak at this ceremony because I am the mom and the mother-in-law of 2 West Point graduates who are also now veterans themselves. I've witnessed firsthand the pride that veterans have taken in answering the call to duty and defending our country. But I also know the sacrifices that come with this calling, particularly for the families of the vets as well as the vets themselves. The humility, allegiance, integrity, and patriotism that are required to put country above self and dedicate your life to protecting others and the values of this country are truly inspiring. The brave folks who make this decision and the loved ones who support them at home forever have my personal admiration, and I know the admiration of everyone who's here. From the bottom of our collective hearts, we thank you. Now, please join me in thanking the following special guests we have from the U.S. Army here today. General Andrew Pappas, Commanding General of U.S. Army Forces Command, and our distinguished keynote speaker. We'll be hearing from him later today. Sonki Hong, Civilian Aide to the Secretary of the Army and the leader and the organizer of today's ceremony. If you're enjoying this, give Sonki a shout out. Jay McCann, Civilian Aide to the Secretary of the Army Emeritus. Major General Diane Del Rosso, Commanding General of the 79th Theater Sustainment Command. Major General Jeff Smiley, Commander of the Army National Guard. Otto Padron, Army Reserve Ambassador. And Bill Wenger, also Army Reserve Ambassador. Today's program would not have been possible without our U.S. Army partners. Thank you. I also want to thank my council colleagues who've joined us today. Mayor Phil Brock, Vice Mayor Lana Negrete, Council Member Carolyn Tarosis. Oh, I'm sorry. And Christine Parra. I'm sorry, you're not on the list. Late RSVP, Council Member Christine Parra as well. Thank you. Also joining us today will be City Manager David White, Assistant City Manager Susan Klein, Deputy City Manager Christopher Smith, Police Chief Ramon Batista, Fire Chief Matthew Halleck, Santa Monica Department Heads, Santa Monica College President Dr. Catherine Jeffrey, and Jamie Cannon, Assistant Director of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Now, if you are able, please stand for the posting of colors by the color guard from the UCLA ROTC. And while they're lining up, I want you to know that will be followed by the singing of our national anthem by Miss USO, Heidi Marie Farron, accompanied by the 300th Army Band, and then hopefully a wonderful flyover.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And I would direct your attention to the sky above us. What a spectacular treat, isn't that? I want to thank Lieutenant Daniel E. Colley and the 158th Aviation Regiment for that Black Hawks and Chinook helicopter flyover. And now I would like to introduce our mayor here in Santa Monica, Mayor Phil Brock, who's going to say a few words.
Thank you. I appreciate your efforts, council member and past mayor Gleam Davis, because you really were the instigator to really make this into a wonderful celebration on the pier 5 years ago. And look how it's grown. I mean, this is wonderful. Everyone give yourselves a hand for being here to recognize our veterans. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. On behalf of the Santa Monica City Council and our entire community, I want to thank all Santa Monica veterans, active military service members, and their families. I always talk about safety and security of our city as our most important thing, but our community can't be safe if our nation can't be safe. So we always need to appreciate those people who sacrifice so much for our country. We have all of you and all those who've served before you to thank for the protections and freedoms we hold dear in America. On my father's side, my family served in the Revolutionary War and every war since then through Vietnam. So on behalf of my family, I appreciate all of you. Your loyalty and service to our country is something that we all benefit from, and I want to recognize and honor that. As a trustee for Santa Monica Elks Lodge 906, I often get to meet veterans, their families, and take time to recognize their dedication and service. One day is certainly not enough, and we should honor and thank our veterans each and every day of every year. But I'm proud to come together, yes. with everyone here today to celebrate you and show our appreciation to all of you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for celebrating in this great atmosphere on our Santa Monica Pier. It's a wonderful place to celebrate. And thank you for serving our great nation.
Thank you so much, Mayor Brock. Now I'd like to introduce our next speaker, former NFL pro, Los Angeles Ram, and Super Bowl champion, Andrew Whitworth.
Thank you very much. How are we doing today? I'm excited. First off, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this. It is an unbelievable honor to be a part of such a special moment on what I consider a very, very special day in our country, a chance and opportunity for us to recognize on Veteran Day our veterans. I was just talking to General Pappas about this. It makes me emotional this day every year. I had the opportunity to win a Super Bowl, yes, but for 16 years as an NFL player, I got the opportunity to be around a lot of great athletes, a lot of great coaches, play against them or play with them. I've seen a lot of cool guys do a lot of cool things. But the reality is all those experiences, playing in Pro Bowl games, playing in 2 Super Bowls, winning a lot of football games, having some bad days, losing some games as well. I did play in Cincinnati. All those opportunities, the truth is all those people were special people. And they may have had so much success they became famous. But they were never my heroes. My heroes are the men and women that serve our country. They give up and sacrifice for us to have the freedoms and the opportunities to sit exactly where we are right now in this moment. One of those heroes is my best friend and college roommate who was killed in action in 2006, 3 weeks after I was drafted to play in the NFL. Lee Deal will forever be one of my ultimate heroes because I had the opportunity to play in 235 NFL football games, over 17,000 snaps. And there wasn't a single national anthem that I didn't stand there with the tears in my eyes, realizing that I got to play a kid's game for my life's calling because of the sacrifices that he made to give me the opportunity to be safe, to enjoy, and to chase my dream. And I will forever see Lee Hamilton Deal as my ultimate hero for that. And I appreciate him for that outlook because the ripples that it's had across my career, and the opportunity I've had to be a part of service, different military groups, the cool opportunities I've had to go and do and adventure and give back are things that I think probably are bigger than I'll ever imagine just to get a chance to say thank you. And so on Veterans Day, to me, it's all about the opportunity to stand here and say thank you to those who served before, laid the groundwork over the last 2 centuries, really, of serving through wars and everything else to provide us the freedoms. But also thank you to those that take the call today to swear in and say, I will carry forward that torch with the honor and respect that it takes day in and day out to hold a daily process and high standards that we will forever protect our freedoms, protect the values that make us this great nation. I'll sign up to do that. I think to me, we can never say thank you enough for the people that choose that opportunity. When I was at LSU, Nick Saban would tell us something all the time. When you talk about daily process and standards, you either coach it or you allow it. And that was the greatest value I ever got because the truth is, every single day, all of us, you wake up and nearly half your day is made up of things you've either intentionally chose to be a part of and create as a pattern, or you've passively allowed. And I hope that we all choose to take something from all our servicemen and women, and that is to choose greatness and to choose the intent to chase greatness every single day. Our standard is our standard, and we never let it go. So thank you so much on this day for the opportunity to come up here and say thank you to those who have served before and that will serve in the future, and those that are serving currently. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Andrew. That was really inspiring and a great reminder to us all. Now I think we have another treat. Okay, so now I'd like to welcome back Miss USO Heidi Marie Farron and the 300th Army Band to perform God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you. That was beautiful. So now I would like to introduce today's distinguished keynote speaker, General Andrew Pappas, the Commanding General of the United States Army Forces Command, the U.S. Army's largest organization, responsible for more than 750,000 soldiers. General Pappas has more than 36 years of service to the nation, and he's excited to join us today all the way from Fort Liberty, North Carolina, the home of the Airborne and Special Operations. Please welcome General Andrew Pappas.
Thank you. I'll tell you, good morning. What an incredible honor to be here today. And I want to thank you all for the very warm welcome. But first of all, for Miss Farron, what an incredible rendition, both of the Star Spangled Banner and then for God Bless America. So for Miss Farron and the 300th Army Band, thank you so much. And if you would please, another round of applause for that incredible rendition. You can see one of the benefits of being out in Los Angeles with the depth of talent that you have to come to all of these ceremonies. And then we have a great crowd this morning, incredible luminaries for the city, the state. Too many here to name and to call out individually, but I do want to call out one, and that was Mr. Andrew Whitworth. Big Wit 77. He's that Super Bowl champion. He got to speak up here. You heard him speak. He's a Walter Payton Man of the Year and just an incredible leader. And you can hear his commitment in the words that he uses. And you can see, because the success that he had and how it's built and the relationship that he had with his roommate, a soldier, a fallen soldier, and it resonates with us all. So thank you very much for being here. And I want to thank you for your words today and for the leadership that you show for everybody. So thank you again. Incredible. Now, I've had the honor to walk on Utah Beach and Omaha Beach.
And I live in the sand hills of North Carolina, and I've been up to the National Training Center, to those sandy areas in Mojave Desert. Yeah, and all the way from my time in Iraq and Afghanistan. And the Army has sent me to many of a sandy location. But my official duties this weekend out here on Santa Monica Pier, I'll tell you, along with the sands right here close to the original Muscle Beach, this is an absolute first for me and a heck of a lot more pleasant. Now, I'll tell you that said, I'm no stranger to the area. To my great fortune, my big brother Alex, who went to film school in New York and he moved out here, he lives just up the street. And for me, he's always been a very gracious host, and I've always come out this way when I need to recharge. So through the past 4 decades of military service, when I've been able to take the time, I've always chosen to come and take that time here to see my family, but it's also to enjoy this as a place of solace. So for your hospitality this weekend has been by no means a surprise to me, but rather it's another incredible example of the welcoming and very military-friendly community that I've come to love out here in Santa Monica. And I'll tell you, and I'm proud to share this trip with my youngest daughter, Olivia, right behind Big Wit. Yeah, who's been looking forward to visiting her cool uncle, even if it meant waking up a little bit early for a high schooler on holiday to come listen to her dad speak. So I love you, Olivia. Thanks for joining me. And I really want to thank every one of you for being out here today and sharing this Veterans Day tradition and an American landmark with me and all of our fellow veterans that are here, but also for showcasing the Army here on what many consider to be a very Navy and Marine Corps' home turf. But most of all, Chris, was that you? Yeah, but for most of all, for supporting, if not serving alongside, the men and women who fight America's wars. Because for war fighting, it's the reason that the military exists. And it's our singular focus within the Forces Command, which I command at this time. And for those of you who have served with us or elsewhere in the military, I know you understand the commitment, the discipline, and the teamwork it takes to prepare a formation for war. And I know that you also understand the courage, the sacrifice, and the resiliency it takes to enter into that cauldron of combat, to embrace your mission, to face your enemy, even though there are no guarantees of when or how that mission may reach its end. And in our line of work, we talk an awful lot about war fighting and what it takes to build that team that's ready to fight. And that's being ready to fight tonight, but also staying ready and building the formation to fight years down the road. Because as we all see, this is a world that is a volatile and also an uncertain place. Now, for all this talk of fighting, I also want to clarify, and for those who have served would agree with me, that we do not seek war, and we don't glorify fighting just for fighting's sake. We do, however, recognize that war fighting has been an integral part to America's DNA since the days of Lexington and Concord. Fighting earned the United States its freedom. It's fighting that held our union together, and fighting has sustained democracy and human rights worldwide. And U.S. military service members and the veterans guarantee not only America's interest, but the security, stability, and freedom worldwide. And through that selfless service, the deep, long-lived foreign partnerships, and it's been with your support and your sacrifices that the United States military is a beacon of friendship, strong values, and hope. And for almost 250 years, families have been drawn to America, not because it's a nation of war, but rather because it is one of peace and freedom. I'll tell you, that's what brought my father here to the shores back in the 40s after he survived the brutality of Nazi occupation in Greece, his homeland throughout World War II. He saw, as we see, the United States as that land of opportunity where you're going to rise or fall based on your own merit. And it was through him, and I'll tell you, the veterans that I looked up to in my hometown, that I realized that we'd not become a land of opportunity by accident. And it's through the soldiers with whom I've been baptized in fire, and for those who serve in our formations today, that I remember the price Americans are willing to pay to maintain our freedom and safety. Look at that, right on time. That's to emphasize the point. Yeah. But I'll tell you, and you can see it, what just flew over, machines of war. And while America's not necessarily a fighting nation, we damn sure are a nation of fighters. And today we gathered alongside the athletes who have reached the very peak of human performance. And we're staring out at a beach that launched that global phenomenon of modern fitness. We're joined by national leaders, we're joined by local leaders, and we're joined by those throughout industry. But it's together we are honoring our heroes, the men and women who dedicated their minds and bodies to the defense of our way of life. The common denominator I see before me is the degree to which we, as a nation, value personal strength, grit, and the will to compete and win against all those who oppose us. The military doesn't hold a monopoly on America's warrior spirit. You saw that today, Ms. Whitwer standing right up here. But I'm incredibly proud. For the last 2.5 decades, for 2.5 centuries, our service members and veterans have set the standard. It has been an honor of a lifetime to serve by their side, and I want to thank you for being here today, for honoring those veterans that are before us and those that are in our community, and God bless America. Thank you, and thank you for your father.
Just grab my hair. That's my son's. No, he's retired. Thank you so much, General. That was just amazing. And I do want to thank Rod Sandberg and the Condor Squadron for that incredible flyover. Wasn't that just amazing? Now I'd like to invite up Peer Board member, Army veteran, and Council member-elect Dan Hall to introduce the amazing West Point Black Knights drill team. You have to help me, Dan.
All right, good morning, everyone, and happy Veterans Day. My name is Dan Hall, and I'm a West Point graduate, former Army commander, and Iraq War veteran, and I currently serve as chair of the Santa Monica Pier Corporation Board of Directors, the organization which coordinates and oversees great community events like this one here at the world-famous Santa Monica Pier. This morning, I have the great honor and privilege of welcoming from my alma mater, the United States Military Academy Black Knight Drill Team. The history of disciplined drill in the United States Army dates to the Revolutionary War when Baron Frederick von Steuben implemented the Manual of Arms to increase the lethality of the Continental Army. Today, the Military Academy continues the tradition of close order drill as it provides the foundation for coordination and discipline within the ranks of the United States Army. The Black Knight Drill Team represents West Point's Corps of Cadets by conducting exhibition and color guard performances across the country, and each year competes in and wins regional and national drill competitions. Please welcome West Point's Black Knight Drill Team.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you, West Point Drill Team. That's always amazing to watch. I can tell you those rifles are very heavy, and throwing them around like that is no small feat. I also want to thank Major Daniel, excuse me, Major Daniel Bauman for arranging that demonstration for us. It takes incredible talent and skill to do those sorts of things, but now we have a whole new generation of folks who are going to be joining the profession of arms. It is time for the swearing-in ceremony. So I'd like to please welcome Major General Diane Del Rosso, Commanding General of the 79th Theater Sustainment Command, who will administer the oath of enlistment to the formation of future soldiers you see before you. I'm not sure I see them yet, but they will be coming, I'm sure. And dating back to as early as 1775, soldiers would recite this oath to publicly affirm their unconditional commitment to serving our great nation and its Constitution. Today, these young people will do the same. Please rise in support, if you can, of their transition from civilian to soldier.
All right, it gives me great pleasure being the commander of a unit that's not too far away in here in California. And some of these future soldiers, I hope, will come to the 79th Theater Sustainment Command. So future soldiers, please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me. According to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Let's give them a great round of applause. I'm going to hand the formation back to the drill sergeant. You can lower your right hands. Thank you all very, very much for answering the call and to carry our torches forward.
Thank you, General. I hope these young people have family here today, because even though it was 2015 when my son took that oath for the first time, I still get choked up. Congratulations to these future soldiers, their families, and we really want to let them know how much we appreciate their decision to serve. As we conclude this morning's event, I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone who made today possible. Thanks to American Legion Palisades Post 283 for sponsoring the West Point Drill Team's visit. Thank you to the Santa Monica Pier Corporation for all their work on this event and giving us this lovely venue. A major thanks to Jim Harris and Leo Erickson from the Santa Monica Pier Corporation. Without their support, this event would not have been possible. And I want to thank Chris Baca and the team from Meals on Wheels West for donating 500 meals for our veterans today. Apparently, there are free samples at the tent. So, sandwiches, free sandwiches, not samples. Gotta get those ears cleaned out. I also want to thank Jeff Clockey, from Pacific Park, who donated 200 free ride wristbands to our veterans and military members today. So they're all going to get to ride the solar wheel and the roller coaster. Please feel free to pick up those wristbands at the American Legion table over there. And thank you all for coming today. I just want to say before we go, I was actually turning the page and getting there. That's okay. Before we go, I want to welcome you all to stick around and enjoy music and dancing, provided 95.5 KLOS and Power 106, who was kind enough to provide me with this microphone today and to take care of all our needs. And I also want to ask all the veterans in attendance at the conclusion of the ceremony to go to my left, your right, over by the open area there where the drill team was. We're going to try and get a photo of all the veterans in attendance today so we can memorialize this wonderful thing. Now, please stand for the retiring of the colors, followed by the 300th Army Band playing the service songs. And as an Army mom, I would be remiss if I gave up the microphone without saying, "Go Army, beat Navy." Again, thank you all for coming today. Veterans, please enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the food, the excitement on the Pacific Park, but please line up for a photo before you leave. And thank you all for coming today and spending this wonderful day with us here in Santa Monica.